Well, Europe is one step closer to bringing in its insidious digital ID. The European digital identity could be used for birth certificates, medical certificates, bank accounts, tax returns, university applications. The list goes on and on. But it's quite rightly raising very serious privacy concerns. This digital wallet is, well, it's tyranny on your iPhone. Joining us now to discuss this from Europe, EU MP Rob Roos. Last time we had Rob Roos on, it was great after he'd exposed the certain things going on with Pfizer. We don't need to go into that one now, but that was great work, Rob. You were terrific on that. Now you're belling the cat on this digital ID. This is really sinister stuff, and it's getting closer and closer. Tell us why you're afraid of it.
The European Parliament and the member states reached an agreement last week on the digital identity. And that's an instrument that is pushed top down, an instrument nobody asked for. And despite so many warnings, so many security specialists and privacy experts sounding the alarm clock, they still reached an agreement. And especially in the Netherlands, this is extremely controversial. A parliamentary majority demanded that the Deputy Minister for Digitalization would not agree to this in the EU, but she did it anyway, which begs the question, what is the status of our parliament? Are we still a democracy? They're really pushing this thing.
James?
And tell us, what exactly is this thing? What does this identity passport mean? What would it be able to control? And I presume that's what is happening here, is they're selling it as an idea that, oh, your life will be more convenient and that there'll be all these sorts of, things that you can do and freedoms that you'll have and all of this, but that, in fact, actually, you could flick a switch and it could become very sinister. Tell us about that.
Yeah, you would have a so-called wallet on your phone where your personal data is stored in. And that's indeed all kinds of information, medical, insurance, diplomas, but also online purchases. And your whole life can be stored in that thing. With one click, you would provide government organizations and companies with your personal data. It would supposedly be convenient, and that's how they sell it. It will save you time when you want to rent a car abroad, they say.
Wow.
And,
wow.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, in my entire life, I had no problem renting a car abroad. Exactly. I don't need a digital identity wallet for that.
Well, Rob, could this be a digital ID card be used to measure things like, I don't know, your carbon emissions, your spending patterns, what you're looking at it on the internet, it's on your phone. Just how far-reaching could this data collection be?
Yes, it goes very far. What I said, nobody asked for this. It's a solution in search of a problem. and I'm afraid these problems will emerge very soon. First, they say it will be voluntary. They always say it's voluntary, but we saw that also with the COVID passports. Within a few months, we needed it to enter a restaurant, a bar, or a gym. Yeah. And I wanted to also stress out this point: when the government has access to certain infrastructure, it will always use it, always. Governments are always looking for more power and more control. If infrastructure is there, it will be used. Maybe not immediately, but it's just a matter of time. And another risk is that companies will ask for more data than they have a right to at the moment. And there is another risk, and that is that your personal data is just not safe. The bigger the IT project, the bigger the chance of a government failure. Rest assured that on day one of the introduction of the digital identity wallet, our enemies will start looking for ways to access our personal data. This will be the number one target for cyber attacks. We do not want foreign governments or governments to get access to our bank accounts, to our medical records, but also we should not they should not know who is in the military service, etc., because there is so much information on it, and if if they steal it, it's really a problem. And what you say about they can go further.
Well, I guess the question that I have, though, I mean, you talk about foreign enemies, but frankly, after COVID, I'm pretty worried about domestic enemies of freedom as well. Not to sound paranoid, but where I see this being a real concern is that we had a health crisis 3 years ago with COVID, if you want to call it that, or the maintenance of a crisis was used to attack all sorts of freedom. Next time around, there may be some other crisis declared, and you need a crisis against hate speech or a crisis against the climate or whatever. And so this pass could be used to restrict your freedoms to do things in a free society. Is this a potential danger of this?
It certainly is. Certainly is. The first they said the digital identity, it was 3 years ago, I started talking about this already, and they say it's a conspiracy theory. We should not talk about this. And now it's here. And immediately when the agreement was reached last week, European Commissioner Breton said, now we have this digital identity wallet, we need to put something in it. And he suggested that the central bank digital currency would be put into this. And that's another so-called conspiracy theory that is now officially announced to become policy. Especially the combination of these two instruments is very dangerous, because this is how governments can create 100% control over people's life. It's a social credit system, and this is exactly how the Chinese control 1.4 billion Chinese people. And the carbon budget, that can be the next thing. We had already a prominent Dutch banker, Barbara Basma, here in the Netherlands, and she advocated openly in the media this would be a good solution. And a Dutch research institution already conducted studies on the effectiveness of a carbon budget. So I don't think this is still a conspiracy theory anymore. I think this could be a frightening reality in the near future.